The result marked great progress for the manufacturer, although time will tell whether they're able to maintain the same pace in the races. Final day of pre-season testing in Qatar saw perfect weather conditions gracing the tarmac, but a slow start as riders took their time to venture out onto the circuit. After what's been a mixed pre-season so far, day 3 was very positive for Yamaha as 3 bikes finished inside the top 5, quickest, and impressively just a 10th from Jorge Lorenzo's 2008 lap record. However, the Frenchman struggled with his pace on long runs. He was followed by Movistar Yamaha's Valentino Rossi, who was 2 tenths adrift in second, with Maverick Viñales finishing in 5th. The result marked great progress for the manufacturer, although time will tell whether they're able to maintain the same pace in the races. With a time of 1:54.331, his fastest over the 3 days. After commenting yesterday that he feels positive that the Bologna team can challenge for the title again this year, it's a good sign for both parties. LCR's Cal Crutchlow was the top Honda, concluding the session in 4th place under half a second from Zarco, demonstrating the improvements the team has made to the engine and chassis over the winter. The result could also mark the start of something for the British rider, as he seeks to mount his first championship charge in MotoGP. Back to Maverick Viñales, and after finishing 5th at the checkered flag, it put him 1 position ahead of Marc Marquez's Honda. The Yamaha rider was consistently in the 155s throughout the day, showing good race pace and hopefully a sign the team can set the pace on the day. From being at the top of the
I know that you probably haven't had any initial feedback yet, Simon, so we might have to catch up with you later on about that, but is there any feedback at all from the riders about what it was like?
Well, in general, nobody's been out yet. Nobody's allowed to go out because there's trucks putting water on the track.
Oh, it's still happening, sorry.
Today, yeah, so the checkered flags come out at 8 o'clock local time, and they've spent now, 35 minutes putting water around. It's taking a while. But yeah, in a little while their bikes will be able to head out. We'll have some more noise and they're going to check it out. But you know, the day, it's been an exciting finish to the day. Earlier on it was really quiet. It almost was the atmosphere of, especially team-wise, we've kind of had enough of testing. I imagine, like the fans, we want to go racing, and you know, because the guys have been, some of them, on the road for 2 months, you know, going from track to track and, you know, organising things, and they want to go racing, you know. And actually some of the teams said, look, we're right down to the last little adjustments now. It feels like time to go racing. And you know, when it came, I noticed Cal Crutchlow out really early. I think he was testing, you know, doing the hard yards for HRC, testing things for them, maybe their riders, you know, to take load off their riders, and it looks like it's paying off for him. He's doing really well. The thing was, when it came to, say, 7 o'clock, it felt like a race weekend, you know. It was exciting. There's a buzz. There was no longer happy smiles for me. You know what I mean? Like
enough to start the Grand Prix.
I'm sure Danny Pedrosa there, with a little moment himself, probably could do without going out in the wet here. It's a particular subject that needs working on for Danny Pedrosa, wet weather riding. Here is the doctor then, Valentino Rossi. You can be sure of getting a pretty in-depth analysis from Valentino about the conditions. So it'll be interesting to hear his thoughts later on. There's Jack Miller. Of course, we saw Jack talking live to Loris and Franco Incini earlier on.
Yeah, and Jack Miller's feedback to Loris and Franco, straight away we could hear him live on air. He wasn't behind anybody in the group, Jack said, and he felt like he was having pretty big visibility problems on the screen and on his visor. The spray just coming up off his own front tyre was the cause for concern for him. I've seen a few riders. This looks like that tricky turn number 2. A few twitches when they're getting on the gas, Steve, coming out of that second corner. Valentino Rossi safely through it this time out. Rossi's out there having a good look at this. You know, he's of course a key member of the all-important safety commission these days, so they'll be hanging on the word of every word that's coming out of Rossi's mouth about these conditions.
You see, the thing is, Matt, these guys, they're not all going to agree, are they? it never happens when it comes to this sort of there. The Flying Frenchman is there again, the Tech 3 rider in first place ahead of Valentino Rossi, the Doctor in second ahead of Andrea Dovizioso, Cal Crutchlow and Maverick Vinales. Andrea, you know, now you can see there, no time set. More on that later. He's not been out on circuit here today, the Suzuki rider. World champion Marc Marquez, 7th place overall. Alex Rins in 8th and Danilo Petrucci 9th.
Rounding out the top 10 on the combined standings was the man who was quickest, of course, in that first test. Seems like a long time ago now in Malaysia. Jorge Lorenzo, a 1:54.692, placed him just ahead of Jack Miller. Danny Pedrosa did an eventful test for him. 2 crashes on night, 1 in Qatar. He was 12th. Franco Morbidelli, top rookie overall, in 13th place, just ahead of Bradley Smith. Aleix Spargo, 15th. Hafiz Siren acquitting himself brilliantly on that Tech 3 Yamaha. He was 16th. A tumble late on this evening, though, for the Malaysian. Thankfully, he was perfectly okay. Carol Abraham, the Czech rider, there in 17th place.
Alvaro Bautista there in 18th, still struggling there ahead of Tito Rabat. And Pol Espargaro was back out on circuit today, which is good news for KTM. Taka Nakagami, well, unfortunately for today anyway, he's not the fastest rookie. Scott Redding 22nd, Xavier Simeon 23rd. 24 riders out there.
I'll be one day on that track with gunplay. I'll cast my whole life, so I decide to spit like Andre.